Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Counting the highest in all worlds. My myth. The great Luo scares the silly Tang. Changye traveled through the high-end wilderness and discovered that he was actually the mythological Dalai Lama who embodied all things. It was also discovered that before incarnating into all things, the supreme communication network of the heavens he created had already connected the heavens. When I saw Tang San jumping like a clown, boasting that he had nothing to do, Changye directly uploaded the Wanjie Supreme Inventory. The Wanjie floor tiles are the highest, and Tang San, the god of the hydrogen continent, has terrifying strength. He can wield 18,000 pounds of the sea god trident and has the power of an excavator for attack. The first inventory appeared, and Wanjie made fun of it. Yi hey! What a terrifying divine king. He can definitely make me laugh to death. Huangtian Emperor. Hiss. It's so terrifying, I already have the power to suckle. Tang San was furious and said, you already have a way to take death. Do you dare to report your address? Report your strength. The highest ceiling in all realms, the mythological great Luo, the cause of all fruits, the source of all paths, and the foundation of all heavens. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Achieving the Mythical Dalai Lama through Harmony. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Endless Road and River. One after another, waves composed of countless diverse worlds roll endlessly in it, accompanied by countless avenues evolving and interweaving within it. Even the world that has reached an infinite level is constantly undergoing birth and death. This long river seems to have included all the worlds and creatures of the heavens and all realms. No matter how powerful the creatures are, they cannot jump out of this long river. Even if it's just a glance. That's all unimaginable situations. And just above this long river. But there stands a world that exudes an endless sense of desolation and antiquity. This world transcends countless avenues. The concept of time has long been lost. Or rather, it is a collection of all concepts in itself. If there are creatures from the vast river, come to this world. You will find out. Even if it's just the stamen of an ordinary wildflower, in the tiny pollen grains. They all hide a vast and diverse world. Vast and boundless. It's indescribable. Unbelievable. At this moment, a young man wearing a blue Taoist robe step out in one step. The body seems to have become infinitely large. Far and wide. Surround the world that transcends the great road and the long river. The place where he stands is the center of the avenue. In other words, he himself is a reason. Time and space have long been meaningless to him. The voice of the Qingpao Taoist slowly rang out. Today, I finally understood what a mythological Dalai Lama is. All time and space, eternal freedom. This is not the realm that Dalai Lama had before, it can be understood. After a while, he slowly regained his senses. I feel my own mysterious and indescribable realm. I couldn't help but feel emotional. I didn't expect mythical Dalai to be so terrifying. His name is Li Chia. Originally a traveler on earth. And the destination he traveled to was the ancient and vast world he had just stepped out of. This world is a truly boundless wasteland. That is what the past life referred to as the high-end wasteland. The horror of high-end famine cannot be described in words. Just an ordinary wandering immortal inside. I don't even know how many diverse worlds have been nurtured in my body. This is the true tomb of a traveler. When Li Changye first traveled, he met many senior travelers and thought he was Long Outyin. If you just appear, you will die in the midst of high-end luxury. Their systems were also taken out by a passing fairy and used as toys. Changye only then realized that the high-end wilderness was countless times more terrifying than he had imagined. Fortunately, I am actually a mythological hero, otherwise I wouldn't have lived so smoothly in such a terrifying high-end flood. Thinking of the constant opportunities one had before, even proactively seeking opportunities to come to my door. I understand the meaning of the mythological Dalai Lama more and more. That's truly a perpetual proof. Eternal uniqueness. As long as he achieves the mythological Dalai Lama, no matter which time period, he is a true Dalai Lama. After all, the mythological Dalai Lama is the Tao. The so-called Tao generates 1, 1 generates 2, 2 generates 3, 3 generates all things merge into one and return to the Tao, which is the mythological Dalai Lama. Specifically, each chaotic era can only give birth to one mythological Dalai Lama. This mythological Dalai Lama is the Pangu of the next chaotic era. Changye was the mythological Dalai Lama of the previous era, so he is the Pangu of this era. In this era, all great roads and concepts were born out of him. The high-end wasteland behind him, the terrifying powers of this era such as Sanqing, Enyuhua, Fuxi, and Zulong. They were all transformed by him after his creation. And his true spirit wandered through the avenue, after a journey. Reunite. This confirms the process of all things returning to the path of unity. Return to the mythological Dalai Lama once again. This is also a necessary process for Dalai Lama, which involves transforming from Tao to One, regenerating into 10,000, and finally returning to One. And in this process, the mythological Dalai Lama will enter a wonderful realm of self-loss. When the true spirit recovers and breaks free from the realm of self-loss, it is also the time when this chaotic era is about to enter its end. Because at this time, the ID consciousness of the mythological Dalai Lama will guide the emergence of a new Dalai Lama. Strictly speaking, all things in the heavens and all realms now, including the high-end wasteland behind us, as well as the long road under our feet. They are all illusions transformed by his heart. In infinite time and space, only Dalai Lama is real. Therefore, the new Dalai Lama that ultimately emerged from this illusion is the real one, except for Changye. It can be called the existence of his children or disciples. It is worth mentioning. Pangu from the previous era was the goddess Enyuhua. In theory, the goddess Enyuhua is his own mother. The uniqueness of high-end luxury. That is the big shot that every era must transform into. They are all big shots from various eras. Wait until the next chaotic era begins. No matter who Pangu is in the next era, including the high-end Honghuang, all the heavens and realms will have their own names. And except for some Luo names. And the earth and the wilderness that the Dalai Lamas are familiar with, every era must go beyond. Everything else, except for those deliberately preserved by Xi and Pangu, will be different in the next era. For example, if this era, 3 generations of bronze coffins and 3 people form a group to preach. The next era will have a world of 3 generations of bronze coffins. At this moment, Changye couldn't help but smile. I don't know who can become a mythological Dalai Lama in this chaotic era. Speaking of which, Changye suddenly realized that he had left behind a special thing before losing me. His mind twitched. The mechanical sound of the system came from the ear. The Zhutian Supreme Communication Network has been successfully bound. This is precisely what he did after becoming Pangu, in order to allow the geniuses of the heavens to communicate. So that they can constantly broaden their horizons and even understand what Dalai Lama is. Thus mutually confirming the tools created by the emergence of the new Great Luo. This is his method of cultivating the new era Dalai Lama. After losing me for so long, let's take a look at the situation in the communication group first. The words have just finished. He was immediately stunned when he saw the content of the communication group. Chapter 2 Tang San. I am the Almighty God. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as he entered the chat group, he felt that the atmosphere was a bit off. The people in the chat group are all praising someone. Tang San. Which shameless blue-silver entanglement is it? Just as Li Qie was pondering for a moment. A lot of information has been scrolled through the group again. Yu Buchuan, the leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance. At Tang San, the unparalleled Divine King. When can I obtain a trace of divine power from the Divine King? Then I will be the true leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance. Stealing King Sikong picking stars. Me too. If the big shots divide my divine power, Chu Liuxiang won't even be able to eat the dust at my feet. The Divine King is not ordinary. Just a little bit of leakage from the gaps between our fingers is enough for us to fully benefit. Everyone in the group is at Tang San. Between words. Full of compliments. Martial Soul Continent Divine Realm. Tang San looked at Xiaowu beside him and said proudly. These people from the lower world are all seeking me, and among all the heavens and all the realms, who can match me, the Divine King Tang San. As he spoke, his smile grew stronger on his face. Xiaowu also looked at Tang San with reverence. San Gu is the strongest god king in the martial soul divine realm. How could these mortals not respect you? Tang San's expression became increasingly satisfied. Since it was linked to the Tianwanji communication network. He knew that there were so many worlds besides his own martial soul continent world. So, I have talked about everything in the martial soul divine realm in the communication group. The title of God King has naturally been praised by many people. For those in the lower world, especially the martial arts world, what Tang San said far exceeded their imagination. That's the Divine King. How can one not show respect? Tang San thought of this. Immediately posted a message in the communication group. The ultimate God King Tang San. Only true gods can enter the divine realm. Seeing how devout you are, after starting the world teleportation, I will awaken your martial souls, so that you can also embark on the path of achieving gods. The people who previously praised Tang San became even more excited. God King 666. The big shot is invincible, even taking out the opportunity to become a god. The big shot is too strong, and I don't expect to become a deity. Just be able to achieve ordinary soul. Dolua Yubuchuan looked forward to the information in the communication group. He has long been hot-eyed about the things Tang San said. What a artifact weighing 108,000 pounds. Terrifying martial soul realm. A powerful 100,000-year soul beast. Anything that falls into his hands can unify the world. The leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance, Yu Buchuan. Follow the God King to have a bright future. The King of Stealing Kings, Sikong picking stars. After all, he is the Supreme Divine King at this moment. The more Tang San looks at the communication group, the more satisfied he becomes. Emperor Tang San. Follow me, you all have the opportunity to become gods, and then you will be able to live forever. This sentence excites those in the lower world even more. Immortal. This is a goal pursued by countless people. Even Yingzheng in the bright moon of the great Qin dynasty widened his eyes. Emperor Shi of the great Qin. Truly deserving of being the supreme god king of omniscience and omnipotence. I wonder if I have the opportunity to live forever. Evil King Stone Pavilion. Be sure to go to the world where the God King is located and witness his unparalleled charm with your own eyes. More and more people in the communication group are being shocked. At this moment, in their eyes, Tang San has become a supreme divine king who knows everything and can even transcend life and death. Looking at the boastful words of the big shots in the communication group. After Li Changye regained his senses, silence fell. This is somewhat different from what I think. I didn't create this worldwide communication network myself to make Tang San brag inside. Watching Tang San become increasingly proud. Changye became even more speechless. After all, for him, this system. It is used to cultivate a new Dalai Lama. What he truly hopes for is that everyone can communicate sincerely and exchange information. Through this communication network, we can connect the entire universe, allowing some geniuses to not be confined to their own world. This way, geniuses can grow into super geniuses. The probability of the Luo appearing in the future will greatly increase. But the actual situation now is: the real big shots in the world don't speak at all. Everyone hid aside to watch the play. Even a few characters with slightly stronger worlds. Changye could see them all, laughing wildly at the communication group. And those who speak in the communication group. They are all characters from the lower world. How about boasting like Tang-san? Otherwise, just like Yu Buchuan and the others, they only know in the communication group. Shout 666 to those so-called big shots. After a moment of silence, Changye knew that continuing like this would not benefit the development of the heavens and all realms. If Dalai could not have been born before the end of the chaotic era, he could imagine that the big shots of past eras would probably joke at him beyond endless time and space. At this point, Changye immediately decided: we must fully leverage the role of communication networks. Put everything back on track. He had a sudden thought. Giant screens have appeared in each big world. No matter where you are in this world, everyone can see this screen. And a message also appeared in the communication group. The highest market point of the heavens opens. Inventory the supreme being in various worlds of the heavens. Now, the entire communication group has exploded. Especially those high-end world giants who never speak in communication groups. There was a hint of shock on his face. Chapter 3. 10,000 Realms of Vibration. Inventory is about to begin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The world of the third copper coffin. The three heavenly emperors are drinking tea with the person who died of illness and discussing Taoism. Suddenly, I saw the screen appearing in my own world. This screen is extremely mysterious. With the abilities of the four of them above the sacrificial path, they were unable to trace the source of the screen. It's like appearing out of thin air. The brows of the four people furrowed. Plus the messages that appear in the group. A few people couldn't help but feel a bit shocked. I didn't expect this communication group to be so different. After a moment of silence, Emperor Yi slowly spoke up. Emperor Chu also felt that something was wrong. I thought it was just for those ordinary people in the world to chat and have fun. Now it seems that the person behind it. The Emperor of Wilderness also nodded repeatedly. The active members in the communication group, in his view, were just ignorant frogs at the bottom of the well. How could they possibly have such means? I'd like to see what the next action of this communication network is. Dragon Talisman World. Observing the formation of ancient factory directors in non-old and new worlds. I was immediately captivated by the screen and messages in the group. Interesting. Surprisingly, it could appear under my nose. You should know that now, he has already surpassed and is immortal. In the world of dragon talismans, he can definitely be considered omniscient and omnipotent. But the screen shattered everything. The highest in all worlds. I wonder if there is anyone among them who can be my opponent. Director Gu is looking forward to it. A smile appeared at the corner of the mouth. Starry Dragon World. 3 Supreme Masters of Hongmeng. I am also very curious. Big brother, it seems that this communication group is not easy now. What third brother said is absolutely right. Lin Meng looked at his eldest brother and third brother. I couldn't help but speak up. There are so many worlds in the all heavens and all realms, and there is definitely not only the world where the weaker people in the group are located. Perhaps we can find a way forward from the inventory presented in this exchange group. The main divine space. Zhengxia and Chu Xian looked at each other and knew that this communication group had become different. Originally, this communication network between the heavens and the world was able to pull them into the communication group through the main divine space, which was enough to surprise them. Now, even appeared a screen that cannot even isolate the main God space. Chu Xian pushed his glasses. He said expressionlessly, "I'm afraid the true heavens and realms will reveal their true face before our eyes. Countless giants from the high-end world are all communicating with each other. After all, the term supreme does indeed touch everyone's heart. Everyone wants to see what the highest in other worlds really is." Previously speaking in the communication group, they are all characters from the lower world. Even Tang San, who boasts too much. The so-called 108,000-pound artifact vibrates the space, integrating the 7 divine realms to open up a large divine circle. In the eyes of a group of big shots, it's not worth mentioning at all. What they truly want to see is the true supreme existence. Nowadays, everyone is focusing on communication groups, waiting for the next message to appear. Martial Soul Divine Realm. Tang San sat in the main hall. I was not shocked by the sudden news at all. He actually looked forward to it even more. As the number 1 figure who opened up the great circle of gods. In the divine realm, he is definitely the undisputed first divine king. He is the supreme existence in the world of martial souls. Xiaowu, it seems that this communication group already knows my strengths and wants to showcase my abilities to the heavens and all realms. Xiaowu immediately responded. Among all the heavens and realms, there is no one who can match Sangu. Tang San became even more proud as he listened to Xiaowu's words. Thinking of the praise that everyone had for him in the communication group. Suddenly, I felt incredibly confident. At this moment, he became even more convinced. I am not just the supreme being of this world. It is also the highest of all heavens and all realms. Tang San looked at the communication group and laughed again. The unparalleled divine King Tang San. The highest among all worlds in the heavens and realms, must be the top genius of all worlds. If there is something that pleases the eyes of the divine king, perhaps he can give some guidance, Tang San thought. If you are in a good mood, perhaps they will also accept them as disciples, and even some women as their wives and concubines. His message has just been sent out. I just received the praise from those people from the lower world before. Many people were shouting, asking Tang San, the divine king, to accept them as disciples. Seeing these, Tang San felt even more. Among all the heavens and realms, there is no one who can be compared to oneself. Xiao Yan looked at the praise in the communication group. My eyelids twitched. This so-called divine King Tang San is also too boastful. Even if his performance is decent. But compared to the vast world, the world of martial souls is simply a drop in the ocean. Emperor Yan Xiao Yan. If the world travel opens at that time, at peerless divine King Tang San, let's practice together. Tang San saw that someone in the group dared to challenge him. Immediately respond. The ultimate divine King Tang San. But by provoking this divine king like this, you already have a way to die. Xiao Yan was speechless. Lazy enough to pay attention to Tang San anymore. He looked at the screen and thought. I don't know if the vast world can make it to the top of the list, even though it is the highest in the world of the heavens. Perhaps it was because Xiao Yan didn't pay attention to him anymore, and Tang San didn't continue speaking in the communication group. And at this moment, people from all over the world who had been diving before began to bubble up. One person, one old master. With so many worlds in the world, I want to see if our world can make it onto the list. Only waiting for you in the mortal world. I actually want to see the highest of other worlds, and whether it is possible to surpass the sacrificial path. Do you also think of dancing? Being able to see the supreme powers of other worlds is really exciting. Love to accept my son. The highest in all worlds. There must be countless strong ones. I declare that the journey of our pirate group is to conquer all heavens and all worlds. Chapter 4. Inventory start. The highest floor tiles in the world. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Countless people I had never seen before came out to speak. Tang San felt somewhat dissatisfied upon seeing the situation. These are probably the strong ones in their respective worlds. I didn't even come out to compliment myself before. Now, as soon as this information on the communication network is released, it has exploded so many people. Tang San immediately snorted coldly. At that time, these people, when they see the supreme heroic figure of this divine king, don't cry and shout for a chance. In the communication group, although more and more people are discussing. But there are also many strong people in the world who stare at communication groups and fall into contemplation. Devouring the world. Lord Luo, who has been a lord for many years. I couldn't help but become curious. There are not many powerful lords in their world, and only a few. I don't know if I can be considered the highest in my own world. Huiying Xiao is in the organization. The drooping old Uchiha. It is full of curiosity. He is well aware of himself that there are 6 immortals in this world, and currently, he should not be considered the highest in this world. I really want to see what the highest of other worlds really is. Dragon Ball's 7th universe. After reading the news, Frieza looked out at the starry sky outside. The expression appeared grim and terrifying. Anyway, the supreme being of this universe must be my universe emperor, Fraser. Compared to people from other worlds. Death World Blue-Dyed Orchid is currently staying in the void, looking incredibly calm. Joining this communication group is indeed much more interesting than imagined. From beginning to end, Aizen's idea was to ascend to the throne that hung high in the sky. Since you want to ascend that throne, you will inevitably need extremely strong strength. His gaze withdrew from the communication group and landed on the screen in the sky. The highest of other worlds. I want to see if their strength exceeds the dimension I am in. As time goes by, there are more and more discussions in the communication group. People in the lower world, including myself, are increasingly eager to know. Has the highest of other worlds transcended the currently known realm? Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. Will there really be immortals in other worlds? Deaf elementary school student. I think everything should be explained by science. Invincible body Gu Xiaoluan. That's right, science can explain everything. The mighty dragon is not a tattoo. What science? I don't even know about cultivation, it shows that your world is like a frog in a well. While these people are arguing endlessly. The screen in the sky. Suddenly, various visions appeared. One terrifying world after another, constantly emerging and disappearing behind the screen. This has made many people exclaim in surprise. What kind of anomaly is this? Especially in worlds with slightly stronger capabilities. The strong inside even felt a wave of fear. If this anomaly really unfolds, perhaps it can destroy our world. And those truly high-end worlds. Each strong person frowned. The immortal masters in the world of dragon talismans. Everyone showed an expression of interest. Perhaps these heavens and realms are really stronger than we imagine. That's right, just this illusion makes me feel that the world born behind it is definitely not much worse than flying in the old and new worlds. The creator of the Zhutian communication network may truly be on par with ancient growth. Maybe we even have a chance to find a way to deal with Director Gu. Countless people from all over the world are eagerly anticipating it. Sure enough, after the end of the illusion, the virtual shadows of each world blend into the screen. In the communication group, messages from the system also popped up. Inventory begins at this moment, everyone's eyes widened. finally arrived. After waiting for so long, everyone wants to see it. The called highest. In an instant, all the messages in the communication group stopped. After a while, a line of big characters appears on the screen in the sky of every world. Attracted everyone's gaze. Inventory. The highest floor tiles in the world. This line of text has just appeared. The entire world suddenly fell silent. Everyone's excited expressions immediately stiffened on their faces. Then everyone's faces showed expressions of surprise. In less than a moment, the communication group exploded. Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. Yu Buchuan, the leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance. Invincible Divine Body Gu Xiaoluan. A series of question marks were frantically scrolling through the group. Even the big shots from the high-end world seem a bit confused. Director Gu created a series of things in the world of dragon talismans, and even created virtual systems. To be able to cultivate someone who can challenge oneself. He originally wanted to see what kind of supreme existence would emerge from this inventory. But this floor tiles. He, who had not experienced any emotional fluctuations for a long time, appeared somewhat speechless. The Empress appeared in front of the three heavenly emperors and the sick and deceased. The expression at the first moment, which rarely reveals inner emotions, appeared somewhat surprised. He is almost above the sacrificial path. We need to engage in a life and death battle to complete the ultimate leap. But now, this inventory actually includes a floor tile. This is useless. Yi Tiandi, who has always been known for his dark belly, appears somewhat helpless. What exactly is this communication network up to? I've only heard of the ceiling, but haven't I heard of floor tiles? The gate of eternal life world. Fong Laoma even twitched the corners of his mouth. Floor tiles. Can this still be called the highest? The old demon who loves cannibalism. Isn't this communication network playing with us? All the big shots in the high-end world also came up with this idea when they saw news about Fong Laoma. It can be outrageous. It can also be bizarre. But there must be no evil sect. Chapter 5. The First World. Hydrogen Continent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. People in the high-end world were deeply shocked by this news. After regaining consciousness, everyone wants to know. How low is this floor tile? And how strong can this floor tile be at its highest? After all, it's already floor tiles, how can it still be called the highest? People in the lower world are more curious than those in the higher world. There are many worlds in the group where even extraordinary powers do not exist. For example, the Earth that exists in many worlds. They have become benchmarks without extraordinary power. In terms of individual power alone, the Earth can definitely be considered the bottom-dwelling existence among all worlds. Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. Can't this floor tile be some world champion of technology Earth? The communication group has also existed for a long time, everyone's understanding of the Earth. Although it cannot be said to be as clear as the palm of one's hand, it can also be considered as a clear door. The leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance, Yu Buchuan. I think this is very likely. After all, technology cannot be considered a person's body. Death God Elementary School Student. If it were in my world, I would be the real Kyoko. In Conan's view, being able to dodge bullets can already be considered the limit of humanity. Their Earth is just a place without extraordinary power. It cannot be compared to some low-level martial arts or low demon worlds. At least they can withstand ordinary handguns head-on. Love to accept my son. I don't care about any floor tiles, I just want to see the strongest ones that can be called the highest. Many people in the world of pirates look forward to it more than anyone else. They are too curious. Luo Luo Tianlong Ren. I would like to know if this person, the first to list the highest, is actually in the group. Perhaps he has already talked to us before. This has further captivated the curiosity of many people. Lord Luo is currently lacking in interest. It's already said to be floor tiles, how strong can it be? I am already a Lord level Hunyuan life. You can easily destroy a source world. Endless creatures, he can be instantly destroyed with just a thought. The highest height of floor tiles. He doesn't care at all. Lord Hunyuan Luo. The floor tiles are the highest, which clever thing came up with martial soul continent divine realm. Near Tang San's divine king palace, one can only hear Tang San's laughter. It's really funny. What is this inventory of? They are already floor tiles, how can they be called supreme? Xiaowu also smiled as she looked at the screen. San Gu is right. I don't think this exchange website can be considered as the highest inventory of floor tiles, thanks to his ability to come up with it. Upon hearing Xiaowu's words, Tang San became even more disdainful. I guess it's the person behind the communication network who knows my strength is too strong and is worried about scaring others. So we can only take stock of this so-called floor tiles are the highest. Speaking of which, Tang San became even more proud. He feels that the brain behind this inventory may not be effective. After laughing for a while, he looked at the line of words on the screen. Slowly calm down. Since the inventory has already started, let's take a look first. Then he sneered and posted messages in the group. The ultimate god King Tang San. If this so-called floor tile is extremely high, it can make me happy and make me look at it too well. Perhaps after knocking his head a few times, I will take him as a disciple to guide me. The people from the lower world in the group immediately joined in. A big shot is kind-hearted, and even these floor tiles are willing to give him a chance. Boss, look at me at least. I am also a congenital master, see if I have a chance to become a god. The Divine King has this kind of heart, we admire him. Watching so many people in the group praising themselves. Tang San's mood was extremely joyful. Hui Yuhao happened to enter the palace. He also saw these messages in the communication group. So I followed Xiaowu and said to Tang San. San Gu, sect leader, you are really kind. Even though you have already made the floor tiles, you still have the chance to take him as your disciple. I really don't know how many lifetimes he has been blessed with. Corpse Soul Realm. Just returned to the fan team with Aizen. My face looks a bit ugly. I thought I could see the strong beyond dimensions. I didn't expect it to be just a floor tile. I can only sit on the heavenly throne. If even the floor tiles can be called the highest, what should I call the one on the throne? Uchiha, who saw this news. I have a deep sense of empathy. Back then, he and Qian Shuzu were both known as the gods of the ninja realm. Do you also think of dancing? I'm about to laugh to death, this high energy can't take my fire escape move. Old Master is even more bewildered. One person at a time, Master Tian. I'm really looking forward to it, Taoist. The floor tiles have gone too far. Everyone is constantly mocking. Especially Tang San, he spoke frankly at this time. Emperor Tang San. If you don't like it, then I will definitely take action and crush this supreme being to death. The message has just been sent out. Another bunch of cheers. Big shots are powerful. Boss 666. The God King is worshipped by Li Changye, who had been observing the heavens and the world, saw Tang San's words in the communication group. He is a mythological Dalai Lama, and he can't hold his breath anymore. Countless avenues and infinite worlds are constantly crumbling and reassembling at this moment. Where did you gain confidence from this blue-silver entanglement? At this moment, Li Changye laughed. Wave it casually. The image of the heavens and all realms immediately changed. The line of words on the screen slowly dissipated and new words emerged. The supreme world of floor tiles. Hydrogen world. As soon as the text comes out, everyone was stunned again. Tang San was even more puzzled. What is hydrogen gas? Chapter 6. Dr. Ashikaga's Science Popularization. An outrageous world. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The particularity of the martial soul continent makes it impossible for their technological development to decipher the most primitive elements. In addition, Tang San Ben is an ancient traveler. He has never heard of it before. Hydrogen gas. What exactly is it? Usually, after being stunned, Tang San immediately regained his senses. He doesn't know exactly what hydrogen gas is. But it can be called qi. How much better can it be? Emperor Tang San. What kind of ghost name? It's too ridiculous. At first glance, the Sodot called highest in this world is not worthy of being my disciple. Xiaowu and Huiyuhao, they. I also feel disdainful towards this Sodot called hydrogen continent. What the sect leader said is that compared to our martial soul world, this name is simply the difference between fireflies and bright moons. There was a hint of disdain in Huiyuhao's eyes. I didn't expect that this communication network, the first to list the world, could be so poor. No wonder it's called floor tiles. That's right, if the highest in this world could become Sanji's disciple, it would simply lower the level of our divine king. Xiaowu laughed. After all, there are also several other divine kings in the great divine circle of their martial soul world. If they were to know that Tang San had accepted such an apprentice, it would be a joke. Three people looked at each other. The expression is filled with contempt for the world. Li Changye naturally noticed Tang San here. At this moment, his expression became increasingly peculiar. Sure enough, people without culture are just so confident. It seems like we need to work harder to get the heavens and all realms back on track. At the same time, Tang San is still chattering incessantly in the communication group. In the words, there is a mockery of this hydrogen continent. Many people from the lower world also follow suit. But those stronger worlds all feel disgusted by Tang San's behavior. Even though Tang San's strength is even stronger than that of the hydrogen continent, they are still dissatisfied with Tang San. Especially those who hide the world with their fingers. The Jiang family of Beidauxing. All the members of the tribe who watched the communication group laughed disdainfully. The divine king. In their view, only their white-clothed divine king is qualified to be called the divine king. People in the high-end world all know what the hydrogen continent means. Their faces all showed a playful smile. Lord Luo, who devours the world. Close your eyes and deduce this world. With his strength. Enough to create countless different types of worlds, but the hydrogen world still leaves him speechless. He doesn't understand the meaning of such a world's existence. If the world is very vast, then it's easy to say. But if it's the same size as Earth. That scene. Lord Luo couldn't help but chuckle lightly. Eternal world. Fong Laoma looked at the screen. Suddenly fell into contemplation. He never imagined that there would be such an evil world among the heavens and all realms. This kind of world cannot even be considered an ordinary low-level world. Even compared to many small worlds of powerful worlds, that is just a speck of dust. The highest of this world. He had already imagined how weak he was. And in the middle and lower world. As long as there are modern cities in the world. Everyone's faces showed expressions of surprise. People who have received modern technological education. Who doesn't know what hydrogen means? Conan was suddenly stunned by this name. Turning his head, he looked at Dr. Agari standing next to him. Two people exchanged a glance. An incredible expression appeared in an instant. Is this really a world? A world made up of hydrogen gas. They can't figure out why life was born in such a world. Dr. Ashikaga. Can hydrogen also make up the world, make up continents, and give birth to life? Invincible God body Xiaowu. Perhaps this is just a metaphor, it may mean being as weak as hydrogen gas. Those people from the martial arts world saw this conversation. I seem to have some understanding. This hydrogen gas doesn't seem to be a powerful thing. They just don't have a concept, how weak this can be. In the world of supernatural beings. The controllers of each civilization furrowed their brows. This is indeed a bit outrageous for them. The name of floor tiles is truly true. If this world is really made up of hydrogen gas, they couldn't even imagine what people on this continent would look like. Holy Caesar looked at Angelico beside her. It took a long time to speak slowly. Do you think the highest of this world? Why can it be called the highest? Angel Yen was immediately speechless. She's not sure either. Just keep thinking in my heart. It seems that such a weak world and characters haven't appeared in the group yet. The worst is the Earth without any extraordinary power. But no matter how we talk about Earth, it is also a solid terrestrial planet. It has nothing to do with hydrogen gas. At this point, she opened the communication group and sent a message. Super God Angelico is the highest of the hydrogen continent in the group. The message was sent, but no one responded at all. Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. Perhaps this supreme has been low-key diving all along, because his strength is really too weak. The leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance, Yu Buchuan. That's natural. The floor tiles are already there, and I wouldn't dare to show my face if it were me. Love to accept my son. I really want to know if the highest in this world can withstand my punch. Discussions began to erupt in the group. Everyone wants to find out the highest point of this hydrogen continent. Yuji Boban looked at the bustling communication group. I couldn't help but ask. Do you also remember dancing? What exactly is this hydrogen gas? Dr. Ashi. A substance in the air we breathe. Immediately after, Dr. Agari began to popularize science in the group. Soon. Many people in the lower world, after learning about the concept of hydrogen gas. Everyone fell into silence. Chapter 7. Video start, Data on Hydrogen Continent. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A world without scientific concepts is suddenly understood. This hydrogen gas is like pulling a crotch. Surprisingly, it is the lightest substance in the world. If this world is really composed of this substance, anyone who comes into this world can become the supreme deity that kills all directions. Including the earth, which has always been at the bottom. Evil King Stone Pavilion. No wonder it can be called a floor tile. It's hard to imagine such a world still exists. Dr. Agri's popularization of science has caused the entire communication group to explode. People in any world realize that this world is much weaker than they imagine. The so-called highest in this world may not even be comparable to the ordinary people in their world. Undoubtedly, it is the pinnacle of floor tiles. Ha ha ha, it's ridiculous. In the palace of the Divine King, Tang San's invincible smile could be heard. Hui Yuhao became even more arrogant as he listened to Tang San's laughter. He had originally thought that, no matter what, it was also the highest of a world. But I didn't expect it. Hydrogen gas means this. Master, I don't think this world even has the necessity to exist. I'm afraid if I breathe a sigh, this world will be destroyed. Hui Yuhao is the god of emotions. With various blessings, the peak combat power can reach the level of a divine king. He has immense confidence in himself. Xiaowu also stood up and spoke. Sangu, this kind of world is not worth our attention at all. After laughing for a while, Tang San gradually calmed down. He eagerly opened the communication group. The ultimate divine King Tang San. There is such a garbage world in all the heavens and all the realms. The existence of such a world is an insult to all heavens and all realms, Tang San kept mocking in the group. Although some people still can't stand it. But what Tang San said is not wrong. This world is really terrible. Tang San has been talking in the group for so long, and many people are responding to his words. But the so-called floor tiles were the highest, but they didn't come out for a long time. This made Tang San feel a bit annoyed. I am a majestic king, yet someone dares to neglect me so much. The ultimate god King Tang San. At the floor tiles are so high that you dare not pay attention to this god king. You already have a way to die. Taking advantage of the fact that the divine king is in a good mood now, if you come out and kowtow to me, perhaps I can show mercy and give some guidance. As soon as the message was sent out, many people also followed at. Lord Shenhuang has already spoken, and he hasn't come out yet to express gratitude. That's right, I don't even look at my identity, but even with just a few floor tiles, how dare I ignore the God King? At floor tiles are the highest, this is a great opportunity. If you can get the appreciation of the God King, perhaps you can also get rid of the title of floor tiles. Tang San looked at the news in the group. I couldn't help but snort coldly. If this person is still ignorant of current affairs, then don't blame me for being ruthless and ruthless. Just as Tang San was preparing to continue mocking and speaking harshly, a phantom of a planet appeared behind the screen. Attracted the attention of everyone in the heavens and all worlds. Everyone is aware of it. The inventory has started. Love to take care of my son. Kulala, finally able to see the strength of floor tiles. Do you also remember dance? Since it can be listed, there must be something unique about it. Although everyone has realized the weakness of this world, it still makes people curious. Especially those worlds with science. Scientists all stared wide-eyed. If it is really composed of hydrogen, then it represents that life has multiple different compositions. If we can decipher the secrets of that world, perhaps we can further advance the technology of our own world. Accompanied by the mechanical sound of the system, it resounds throughout the heavens and all realms. A planet appears on the screen. It is somewhat similar to Earth. 30% of the area is land, and the rest is oceans. This scene has stunned many people from around the world. Isn't it about the hydrogen continent? How is it similar to many worlds, especially the Earth and many parallel worlds of the Earth? I also think so. What is the difference between this and Earth? Many people in the world feel incomprehensible. Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. Could this be a mistake on the communication website? The leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance, Yu Buchuan. No matter how it looks, it's just an ordinary world, and it shouldn't be considered a floor tile, right? After all, the planet depicted in the picture is too poor, at most it just lacks extraordinary power. Isn't this the second Earth? Countless people from the middle and low worlds are becoming increasingly puzzled. Only those people from the high-end world can tell at a glance that something is wrong. In the world of the third-generation copper coffin, Emperor Yi looked at the screen and soon discovered a place different from Earth. Not to mention being compared to my home planet, it's just compared to Earth, which truly has no extraordinary power. The atmosphere of this planet is too weak. Being small doesn't necessarily give birth to life. The Emperor of Chu also nodded. To reach their level and open up the world is just a fleeting thought. Even the world opened up by the immortal kings fighting in the realm of the sea cannot be so weak. The Emperor of Wilderness cannot deny it. This floor tile doesn't seem like a joke. The discussions in the communication group are endless. But soon the entire communication group fell silent. Because at this moment, a pile of planet data appeared next to this planet on the screen. Chapter 8 Xiaowu. This hydrogen continent. How? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Everyone looked at this data in a daze. The diameter and area are much smaller than those of the Earth. The most important thing is, surprisingly, a set of unimaginable data appeared on the screen. The speed required to break out of the Martial Soul Continent planet is 10 times the speed of sound. People in the high-end world only have a slight deduction, and a playful smile appears on their faces. Turns out it's really a hydrogen continent. Surprisingly, there really exists such a world. Indeed, everything in the heavens and realms can exist. Even the world I have casually opened up would not have such a weak continent. These high-end world giants are not speaking in the communication group, because they have already understood the core of this world. But for some, the middle and lower levels of the world are at a loss. 5U Alliance Leader Yu Buchuan. What does this data mean? Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. At Dr. Ashi, do you scientific worlds know what this means? Dr. Ashi, who was stared at the set of data and fell into contemplation. After a while, he regained his senses and immediately inputted this set of data into the computer. Just a few seconds. Through these data, he obtained various related derivative data of this planet. Conan also saw a series of numbers appearing on the screen. My head is a bit confused. It took him a long time to come to his senses and he couldn't help but speak up. The hydrogen continent is well deserved. At this moment, there are more and more messages in the communication group. Everyone wants to know the meaning of this set of data. Dr. Ashikaga, who was the first to calculate the results, immediately became popular in the communication group. Dr. Ashikaga. This planet is much larger than Earth, but it can be ejected at 10 times the speed of sound. According to the formula for gravitational acceleration, the density of this planet is only 1/20th of that of Earth. The density of the surface and core of a planet is completely different. That is to say, the surface density of this planet is probably only equivalent to a gas-liquid mixture. Then there were many scientific worlds that popularized these terms. Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. So, does that mean the density of people in this world is only comparable to hydrogen gas? Do you also think of dancing? I'm afraid it's just like this. Everyone suddenly realized. No wonder it's called the hydrogen continent. According to the human physique of this world, any ordinary earthling without any extraordinary power can easily tear them apart. At this point, everyone finally has a certain understanding of the hydrogen continent. If this world is not called floor tiles, then what world can be called floor tiles? The sacred Caesar in the supernatural world. The unsmiling face surprisingly showed a smile for the first time. Angel Yen also covered his mouth. This world is too cramped. It has exceeded their understanding of the universe and life. I didn't expect such a world to be born. I really don't know who created this kind of world back then. After Holy Kaisha finished speaking, she immediately opened the communication group. Divine Caesar. Will the data in this world be different from the data in other normal worlds? The mechanical technology of the supernatural world may not be comparable to some worlds with mechanical civilization. But the supernatural world that can create 4 generations of divine bodies is definitely far ahead in biological science. From a biological perspective, if the people on the Martial Soul Continent want to reach the density of normal human beings in the world, they can only reduce their volume. This conjecture came out. Dr. Agari immediately reacted. After he saw the data appearing on the computer, both Conan and he fell into silence. This world. Conan, you can really become the Grim Reaper. The newly inferred data was quickly uploaded to the communication group. This has caused countless worlds to explode. This hydrogen continent is too cult, isn't it? I can really be so weak. No wonder the highest in this world dare not speak in communication groups. If it were me, if I had known there were so many powerful worlds in the group I was in, I would have killed myself with a piece of tofu long ago. Tang San looked at the various situations of science popularization in the communication group. His face was constantly filled with mockery. He was about to continue mocking. But looking at the planet on the screen, a hint of familiarity couldn't help but emerge in his mind. Suddenly, he felt even more strange. Staring closely at the screen, my eyebrows furrowed slightly. He turned his head to look at Xiaowu. Speak up. Do you feel something is wrong? The more he looks at this planet, the more familiar it feels. But this is just a world of floor tiles, how could it be related to him? The martial soul world where he and the Tang Divine King are located cannot be a match for this kind of world. Xiaowu also realized that the situation was not right at this moment. Put your gaze on the screen. At this moment, Huiyuhao seemed to have noticed something wrong. Master, I see how the shape of the continent on this planet resembles our continent. A bit. Huiyuhao's tone was somewhat uncertain. But that familiarity is just too strong. The three of them looked at each other with a hint of surprise in their eyes. However, Tang San quickly shook his head. This is just a world of floor tiles. How can it be compared to the world of martial souls? According to the popular science in the group, this world is surprisingly weak. He is capable of creating a divine king in the great circle of gods. It is definitely impossible to have any connection with this world. Of course, this planet is very similar to the martial soul continent. Tongshen, who had come to his senses, couldn't help but snort coldly. It's a coincidence that such a garbage world can even touch our martial soul continent. Huiyuhao also felt that this was just an accident. The sect leader is right. It is an honor that they will never encounter to be able to touch our martial soul continent. Chapter 9 World Power System. Tang San. How? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The rough data of this world has been analyzed by various heavens and realms multiple times. It has long been confirmed that this world is just a speck of dust compared to Earth. In such a small world, everyone is looking forward to the fame inside. Do you also think of dance? Since the so-called highest can appear, it means that there is also an extraordinary power system inside. Love to accept my son. I am also curious about what kind of power can be born in this world. Although Aizen did not speak in the group. But my heart has long been filled with curiosity. For him, even if he can make it to the list in a weak world, there must be something unique about it. Let me see what the ultimate is like. Countless people in the world are eagerly anticipating it. Even people in the high-end world are filled with curiosity in their hearts. Time passes by. The planet in the screen slowly disappeared. Then, in a lush jungle, a group of humans appeared. These people have emerged with one halo after another, of different colors. Through the screen, a faint wave of energy emanates faintly. At this moment, people from all over the world were somewhat shocked. Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. I didn't expect that this world really has extraordinary power. Standing on the high sky. These halos seem to hide souls, which seems somewhat interesting. The leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance, Yu Buchuan. It is somewhat surprising that there is such a power system in this world of floor tiles. Those in the low-level martial arts world have a hint of envy in their eyes. Even if they are not sure what this power system really is, look at that dazzling halo. At least much cooler than what they call martial arts. This kind of weak world can also have this kind of special effect. It's really frustrating for us Fengyun world. Xiongba couldn't help but say as he looked at the screen. This special effect is much more eye-catching than many other worlds. Is that why this world is on the list? At this moment, more and more people are discussing in the communication group. The screen also began to change. A huge monster appeared in front of these people. The halo on these people immediately began to shine. The light is even more dazzling. Immediately, weapons of various shapes appeared in the hands of many people. Even some people have transformed into orcs. The breath became raging. Just when all the heavens and all the realms feel puzzled. The mechanical sound of the system started. There are 3 continents on this planet. For those living on these 3 continents, when they reach the age of 6, I will be able to practice my own martial soul. Everyone's martial soul is different, with animals, plants, objects, and even their own organs, such as eyes. Martial souls can be used to assist in life or to fight. People who awaken their martial souls, if they can obtain innate soul power, can hunt soul beasts, obtain soul rings, and have the qualification to step into the extraordinary world. Each soul ring can endow the owner with a special skill. Subsequently, the mechanical sound of the system introduced the level of power. Once reached, there are 99 levels of soul power, with a total of 9 realms. From soul warrior to title Doluo. So much so that they eventually became gods. Soul rings also have differences: white, yellow, purple, black, red. It looks stylish and orderly in inheritance. Tai Chi Zhang Sanfeng. It turns out that the things used by the people preparing for battle in the picture just now are actually these so-called martial souls. The leader of the 5 Sacred Mountains Alliance, Yu Buchuan. I didn't expect that the power system in this world is quite magical. Do you also remember dancing? With such a mature power system, I am even more looking forward to that supreme performance. At the same time, more and more low-level worlds are envious. It would be great if such a garbage world could have such a complete power system, given to them. Returning to the soul realm, Aizen's face also showed a smile. The soul-slaying swords of martial soul and death god have similarities and differences. All are the embodiment of the heart. Everyone's abilities are different. Even martial souls are more peculiar than soul-slaying swords. Each martial soul can stack 9 soul rings. 9 different skills, which are much stronger than some single ability soul-slaying swords. That's quite good. Aizen is thinking about how to go to that world. It means being able to obtain a powerful martial soul. Maybe he can break through his own strength to reach the higher dimension that one desires. In the communication group, everyone is amazed by the unique power system of this world. But Tang San and his group were dumbfounded. Because all the introductions on the screen, whether it's about power systems or explanations about soul rings and beasts, they are exactly the same as their Wuhuan continent. Xiaowu couldn't help but say it. Isn't this really the martial soul continent? Upon hearing these words, Tang San's face turned unusually ugly. He is the strongest divine king among all the heavens and realms. How could this world of floor tiles possibly be a martial soul continent? This must be a coincidence. How could it be that our martial soul continent would have the highest floor tiles? At this point, Tang San's divine power erupted, shaking the entire palace. Xiaowu and Huiyuhao felt that Tang San's divine expression had also eased. The sect leader is the first divine king in the martial soul divine realm, and this kind of strength is definitely not something that can be born out of this kind of floor tile world. Xiaowu also nodded in agreement. My third brother is the supreme divine king. He is invincible, and there will be no one in the heavens or in all realms who is his opponent. Sangu, there are so many worlds in the world that are somewhat similar to our martial soul continent. It's nothing. Tang Sanyi listened. My mood calmed down. Xiaowu is right, but it's really damn that this world dares to have the same power system as our martial soul world. They already have a way to die. Chapter 10. Supreme Exposure. The Divine King in the group is. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The exposure of the world power system, it has sparked a lot of discussion among everyone. People in the martial arts world really hope that this system can be used in their world. Compared to the hydrogen continent, their world is still normal, if everyone can awaken their martial souls. The strength of the entire world can be elevated to a higher level. Tang San is currently watching the communication group. Although still dissatisfied with this so-called hydrogen continent, similar to their martial soul world. But seeing so many people, they envy the manifestation of martial soul's power. He became even more proud. Emperor Tang San. Since you are so interested in martial souls, if you can win the favor of this divine king, I can also guide you to awaken martial souls. As a divine king, helping others awaken, the martial soul is naturally easily captured. Tang San's words immediately caused a stir in the communication group. Even Blue Dai couldn't help but feel proud. A new system of power. It is indeed an effective method to break through boundaries. Even though he was dissatisfied with Tongshen's high-profile behavior before. But now, you can't help but say. Standing on the high sky. Under the Divine King's pavilion, what price does it cost to awaken the martial soul? Do you also think of dancing? I also want to know that if I can cultivate my martial soul true body, I don't even need 9 tails for my Susuknang. Yuji Boban felt a little excited in his heart. You should know that when dealing with Qianshou Zhujian, you needed Jiuwei chakra. To be able to unleash one's power, one must be able to resist the transformation of Buddha on the top of the 1,000-handed pillar. If you have a true martial soul body. Looking at the entire ninja world, I'm afraid there won't be anyone who can compete with me. At the same time, countless people from the middle and lower levels of the world are somewhat surprised. No wonder it was able to make it onto the list. Such a weak world, capable of such a magical system. It's quite interesting. After reading all the news, Tang San was overjoyed and had long forgotten his previous unhappiness. The ultimate divine king Tang San. At that time, this divine king can show you the power of true martial souls. This weak world is simply not worthy of martial souls. After Tang San finished speaking these words, accompanied by countless people's praise, the real bodies of those martial souls in the picture slowly dissipate. Subsequently, a young man with long water blue hair hanging down to his heel appeared in front of everyone. His appearance can be considered handsome. A thought emerged in the hearts of everyone in the heavens and all realms. This cannot be the highest in this world, can it? As expected. The sound of the communication group system is ringing. Hydrogen continent is the highest existence, the God King Tang San of the martial soul divine realm. As soon as the words fell, the entire universe fell silent. In the realm of martial soul gods, the 3 people staying in the palace of the God King were all stunned for a moment. They couldn't believe their eyes and ears. The Divine King. Tang San. Xiaowu exclaimed in disbelief. She turned her head, looking at Tang San beside him. The man in the picture is the same as Tang San. Even the faintly revealed aura made me very familiar. Is it difficult? Is this really the 3rd brother? Hui Yuhao remained silent. They originally thought that this so-called hydrogen continent was just a collision with their martial soul world. However, I didn't expect that the highest figure exposed today is the first mock examination. Isn't that to say that their martial soul world is this so-called weak to the extreme hydrogen continent? Not to mention that Xiaowu and Hui Yuhao do not accept it. Tang San's face turned black with anger. How could this divine king, who comes from the strongest of all worlds, be related to the hydrogen continent? This is definitely a communication group behind the scenes, smearing our martial soul world. At this point, Tang San was furious. Just let me know who the people behind the communication group are. I will definitely let him know how terrifying the trident of the sea god is. At the same time, the people who have been praising Tang San have fallen into silence. Previously, they also followed Tang San and mocked the weakness of this world together. But I didn't expect this world to be the world where the God King in their eyes was incredibly powerful. You should know that Tang San was in the group before, but he boasted about everything. I almost didn't say it was the only legend in the heavens and all worlds. O God King! Even the earth without extraordinary powers knows the significance of this title. If it's really Tang San who often talks in the group, where does he have the confidence to call himself the God King? The world of the third copper coffin. Emperor Chu couldn't help but laugh. I already knew this guy's strength to pull the crotch. But I didn't expect it to be so poor. Emperor Yi also revealed his iconic black belly smile. The God King of this world, not to mention compared to the former Jiang God King. Whether it can be an ant's opponent on earth is a question. The Emperor of Wilderness smiled but remained silent. In his opinion, there is indeed something in the inventory of the heavens and the world. Even this kind of world can be found. Non-immortal masters in the old and new worlds. The playful smile on their faces indicated their inner thoughts. The weak and small worlds of these heavens and all realms should not exist. If all can be integrated into the non-old and new worlds, various special power systems will allow us to take it to the next level. Immortal Zhou Yang. At Emperor Tang San, it is your honor to offer your world and support our universe. Immortal Zhou Qin. The world of floor tiles is useless except for the power system. It's better to make some contributions, which is also beneficial for the heavens and all realms. For the first time, a high-end world leader spoke repeatedly in a group. Many people in the middle and low world were startled. At this moment, they looked at the screen and then at the messages in the communication group. Only then did I understand that the truly powerful world among the heavens and realms is not like Tang San's martial soul continent.